What's going on, everybody? Rob Ferretti here with a vlog, but like the vlog is really like a video because I'm using a video camera, not like a shaky GoPro or something like that. Anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about what I'll say are the hidden dangers, or at least hidden costs, associated with cheap exotic cars. I just happen to be standing next to the $10,000 Viper, which I'm going to do an update on tomorrow. We'll get into that. If you know what you're doing, they could be gems. You can go get a nice car, but a lot of people go around and like, I've got $20,000, I've got $15,000, I've got $40,000 to spend on a car, and they look for the most exotic car that they can get for that amount of money, and that's not always the smart play. There's a lot of stuff that you should be doing. There's a checklist prior to buying an exotic car, just because, and I'll be honest, I almost did it when I was younger. I almost bought a old Jaguar because I'm like, oh, look at that nice classic Jaguar for $1,000. Why am I going to go get something else? That would have been a huge mistake. There's a lot of maintenance costs. There's a lot of things that you're not expecting. And in a perfect world, and in the world of non-exotic cars, you have some expectation that things are just going to work. And when you go out and buy a $15,000 Maserati with 25,000 miles on it, you don't think very much of it. It's like, oh, great, I got a Gran Turismo. This is awesome. And that car may cost you so much more that it's going to be more of a burden than it will be an actual fun toy or a good daily driver. Now, all of the cars that you see that depreciate significantly, there's usually a big reason that they depreciate. It's either it's not a great car to drive, it's not a particularly good car all around, or it's got like very, very significant repair and maintenance costs. This car right here, the hood is 75 grand. Now, when you make a hood $75,000, what do? You make it so that the aftermarket will eventually come out and come up with something that replaces that. Here's a cheaper version of that hood that you could put on your car, because not many people, unless the insurance company is paying, are going to go buy $75,000 hoods for $35,000 or $40,000 cars. Before you buy a car, before you even look into buying a car like that, you should always look at common problems. There's a forum for everything. If there's a car out there, there's a Mercury Marauder forum. I promise you, I'm sure it exists. A Lincoln Blackwood forum. There's a PT Cruiser forum. You go out there, you see the people that have had the cars, own the cars that you're interested in or thinking about, and you look what common problems are. If it's a bearing failure, which may cause the engine to go, you want to know about it. If there's blow-by, if there's like the old BMW motors used to gunk up all the what do you call it, carbon in the top end of the engine. Like, there's a lot of things that you want to look out for before just going down and saying, that's a cool looking car, I can afford it, and it's mine. And that's really what ends up biting people in the ass, is that you go get a car, then you didn't realize, oh, the bushings are shot. What do you mean the bushings are $6,500? Like, stuff like that will really chap people's asses, and it makes it not affordable. Why do these formerly $100,000 or $200,000 cars become so cheap so quickly when they look so cool? The answer is there's never like a magical car that's like, I don't know why it's so cheap, let me just go buy it. The only one that sort of falls into that realm is a 996 Turbo. Great car, great value, go buy it. But other than that, be careful with what you buy, especially with Maseratis and any of these other cars that you think look cheap, a Panos or anything like that. It's a problem waiting to happen if you don't do your research. So to recap, what do you want to do? You want to look into what common problems exist on the cars. You want to do a PPI, which is an inspection. It costs like $300. It's not cheap, but get a dealer to inspect the car to make sure that everything checks out and you at least know what you're buying. Number 3, look up the common repair and replacement items. The clutch job, and sure, an engine may blow on anything. It's not expected, it's not likely to blow, especially if you get a PPI. But look at the wear and tear items, the brake jobs. The SLR McLaren has a $100,000 brake job. Something you may want to be aware of, especially if you were buying it for 100 grand and you thought that that was the greatest car ever. Now they've gone up in price, ignore that example. But you want to do the PPI, you want to see if there's any common problems, and lastly, you want to look at what it costs to maintain and fix that car and set yourself a budget. So if you have $25,000 to spend, make sure you leave in that budget whatever the expected maintenance cost is, whether it's $2,000 a year or $500 a year or $5,000 a year. Make sure you factor that in. Thank you guys for watching. I'll call it a video log. It's not a video log. Thank you for watching. Something to be aware of when you see a cheap exotic out there. There's always a little bit more than meets the eye. If it's too good to be true, sometimes it is, but when you get a car like this or get another car, if you know what you're doing, you could be the happiest guy in the world. You can get very lucky. If you know how to buy, fix, sell, repair things well, they could be a great bargain. But for those of you who are not so savvy, it's something to watch out for. Catch you next time. Thanks for making it through the whole video. I appreciate it. If you like what you saw, like below, comment below. Those both help my videos go up in rankings, and that helps me out. So thank you for that. If you don't enjoy it, don't say anything. But since YouTube does its own things in the end here, I have 20 seconds in which to do that. And that's going to stop right now.